Alright, hello ESS, welcome back to a new video. As you can already tell by the title, today I'm going to be reading paranormal stories submitted by you guys, so if that is something that you do want to watch, of course keep on watching. And if you are new here, hi, my name is Brenda. I go by Beyond Belleza. If you would like to join my little community of ESS, all you have to do is subscribe down below and turn on your post notifications so you do not miss a new video. And if you enjoyed this video whatsoever, please do not forget to give it a huge thumbs up because it does help out my channel in various different ways. With that being said, you guys, let's get into it. Okay, lighting change because that other one was giving me a weird shadow like cast on my face. I know the other lighting was a little bit more spooky, but I want you guys to be able to appreciate this makeup. I wore this just for you guys because I have not put myself together for the last few videos, so I just wanted to show you guys the real me. Just kidding. This is not the real me. The other one was my real me, but I actually wanted to, you know, get a little bit cute for you guys. So with that being said, let me pull up my email. If you guys are not yet aware, you've been living under a rock on my channel. I have been taking, oh no, why is my ringtone all the way up? I have been taking submissions for paranormal stories at my email right here down below. It's just beyondbelleza@gmail.com. I have been piling them up, so if you were one of the people that has sent me a paranormal story and you're like, bitch, where's the video? It's because I've been trying to like pile them up until I have enough for me to actually start a little mini series on, you know, reading these for you guys. So okay, I had to change angle again. Alright guys, let's get into it. Alright, so here is my email. Alright, so the first story that I am going to read is by my girl Crystal Dominique. Again, thank you so much for submitting your story, girl. I really do appreciate it. Okay, so she goes, okay, so my paranormal story happened last year in 2020. I don't remember the day, but it was at night, sometime early in the morning, around either 1 a.m. or close to 2 a.m. I have always been a very light sleeper, so I remember I woke up to use the restroom. As I went back to lay down on my pillow, I closed my eyes and started not only hearing, but feeling as if someone was scratching the other side of my pillow. So I'm laying on my right side as I heard and felt this. I opened my eyes almost instantly and got up, looked around my room, but saw nothing. So I figured I was dreaming, so I laid back down and closed my eyes. Then again, only a few seconds later, I heard and felt the scratching again. So I opened my eyes, but this time I just stood still as I'm looking around my room, still laying on my right side. I hear it louder now and freaked out. I got up quick and picked up my pillow and found nothing, not a single thing. So now I know I wasn't dreaming and felt this was a spirit messing with me. But I was confused because it felt as if it was a hand that slid under my pillow and started scratching my pillow so that I can feel it and wake up. After that happened, I couldn't fall asleep right away, so I stayed up for about an hour watching YouTube videos, then eventually fell asleep. After that night, it never happened again. Pretty scary. I think I would have like freaked out so bad if I even felt somebody touch. I first would have thought that it was like an animal or something, like fucking flip out. But yeah, that was Crystal's story. Thank you so much, girl. That was definitely pretty spooky. I think, as I said, I would have flipped out. Alright, so the next one is by my girl Marissa Zapata. She says, hey girl, so one night I was laying down in my bed and it's pitch black in my room. I felt the pressure of my bed going down and felt someone get next to me. By the way, I sleep alone. I didn't want to turn around because I was so freaking scared. I couldn't move and the only words I could say were, La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. The blood of Jesus has power. Whatever that was on my bed got up and left. Nope, cancelado. I would be so fucking scared. I get scared just when I feel that somebody like sits on my bed and it's actually just me falling forward a little bit. I get so scared, but then I'm like, okay, it was just me. But If I genuinely felt somebody get in my bed, I think I would run out and leave. Okay, she says, second story. When I was younger, maybe 14 years old, my mom and siblings lived in an upstairs apartment and it was huge. We had 2 bedrooms, a huge living room that had window doors that were see-through. One night I got up to use the bathroom and I heard some noise in the kitchen. I didn't think too much about it and went to bed. Next morning, I asked my mom what she was doing in the kitchen last night. She was like, "What are you talking about? I went to bed as soon as y'all did." I told her what I heard and she told me maybe it was one of my siblings. Well, that can't happen. They were sleeping all night. They never got up. Oh, I skipped a part. My sister and brother and I sleep in the same room. Yeah, that freaked me out. I have also seen a woman in a white dress walking from the kitchen. I don't have any explanation to who it could be. And she puts, "My name is Mimi, and yes, you can say it on YouTube." Thank you so much, Mimi. I really do appreciate it. That was a pretty scary story. I don't know if you didn't really mention if you still live in that house, but if it's the same house where you see the woman in a white dress, I'll be like packing my bags. Bye. That's scary. I don't like. I'm glad that all of my paranormal experiences are in the past and that when I was younger, and that I have, just blocked it out of my mind, and I just remember them happening, but I don't remember the fear anymore, and I haven't experienced anything like that anymore other than at my workplace that I'm pretty sure is haunted, but I'm trying to really deny it. Okay. Let's go on to the third story. As you guys know, I usually do these in increments of 3 stories and then I leave it for the next video. So this is going to be my final one. So I hope that you have been enjoying this and that you have your snack and your cobijita ready to go. Okay. She says, "Hi girl, love your videos." Thank you so much, girl. I really appreciate it. This is sent in to me by Jenna Wells, by the way. I didn't say that. She said, "I have a few spooky stories to share about my family and I's chicken farm. We've had many experiences of seeing bodies with no explanation, hearing voices, footsteps, faces in windows, and many eerie things throughout the years. And these are a few of them. Hope you enjoy them." And this is quite a lengthy one, so get comfortable, you guys. Let's see. Okay, so to get started, our farm property is known in my town and neighborhood for the land's very bad tragedies throughout the year. Also, she includes a picture of the chicken farm, and I will add it right here. I really appreciated that she included a picture. It really sets the scenario in your head, so I'm going to put that up right here. Okay, to get started, our farm property is known in my town and neighborhood for the land's very bad tragedies throughout the years. Lots of deaths. One of the most known deaths is the fight that had broke out between 2 brothers. These brothers had started a war between each other as to which brother was going to be the beneficiary of their dead father's buried gold. Rude. Why there was no will, I'm not sure. So time goes by and worst comes to worst, and these brothers went out in what is now our farm's yard and shot at one another. But the very disturbing part is their mother had ran out from the house to stop them, and she was sadly the victim of their gunshots. And that is one of the worst known tragedies on the property's history. That is so sad. They should be ashamed of themselves. Okay, now this is not proven like the other story, but there have been many old neighbors who have spoken out about the grandfather of a past man my parents used to know. Oh my god, I cannot read. Where was I? My parents used to know that had murdered some of his business partners at the time and buried them in his shed. And for back then, considering how many years ago that's been, it would have been a lot easier for someone crazy like that to get away with murder, period. All of the murders back then, they were back then for a reason. And we don't have as many serial killers now. Okay, now that there's a little backstory known, let's get to what happened to me and my family members over the last few years on the property. During the winters at my farm, we have to do a few month cleaning and arranging process inside where the chickens stay. All farmers for Pilgrim's Pride have to do that after their flock of chickens leave their farm for that year's flock. A bit complicated, but it gives you some insight as to what to picture in your head. And these houses for the chickens are huge buildings. We have 2 of them, and between the 2 they hold 1,800 chickens. So one day my father went in the part of the house where there aren't chickens, the part where we gather the eggs by machine, to search for a part, whereas back inside the huge empty part of the house where the chickens usually are is my brother and our employee. So my dad is searching for this part, and with his back turned to the door, he hears the distinct sound of the creaky loud side door to the house open, and very clear sounds of someone with loud boots step inside. And he said he even felt the breeze of their body walk past him. So he figured this was my brother or our employee. And he asked them, still with his back turned, to hand him some part out of the toolboxes across the room where he clearly heard them walk over to. So a few seconds pass and no response comes from them. So my dad asks again, and still no response. And note, there was nowhere for them to have went into in that amount of time after coming in. So my dad, a little angry now, wondering why no one answered his request, turns around and there's absolutely no one there. And no one could have just disappeared like that. There was nowhere in the room for them to have gotten out without my dad hearing them go back out the door they came in from. So he leaves that part of the house and goes back to where my brother and the other men are, and he's like, "Hey, which one of you was just up there with me and left before you could help me?" So both of them looked at him in just straight confusion, because they had both been together working in the same sector of the house the entire time my dad was gone. Another time, it was just my brother and the same man that worked for us working together in the back of the chicken houses. This was also during the time of year where there were no chickens in the house. So him and the other man are working, and it's been super quiet the entire time. Oddly quiet is what they both said. No one else was on the property at the time. A few minutes pass and they start hearing this loud whistling. They described it as if it was from a distance, and they could hear it as if someone was right there beside them in their ear. And they could hear it getting further away after that, as if someone just walked all the way from the back of the building, past them, and then to the other side. And of course, no one was there again. So my brother and the man just stood there looking at each other in awe, and they both said the whistling sounded like that of an old-timey blues song. That one's pretty scary. Alright, then there's a few that I personally experienced. Note, on the property, as I have mentioned, we have 2 chicken houses. They're around 30 feet apart probably. And as I was inside the cooler room where they keep all the eggs in one house, I had the door just barely cracked. It wasn't quite all the way shut to the point where you could see a little out of the crack as I was counting the eggs for the day. I noticed a very tall, black blurred figure dart across the door in a manner that was so unnatural and not so normal to the eyes. And I walked out after a few seconds of processing it in my head, like, was that a stranger sneaking in here? So I walk out the most, hoping it's just a neighbor. And of course, there was absolutely no one there. And the last story, in one house, we have a Sirius XM radio. We listen to it while we work to make the day go by faster. So one day I had just arrived at our farm. The doors to one house were all still locked, so I knew no one else had been there yet. So I get out of the car to go unlock the side door, and as I get closer, I start hearing the radio blasting music from the inside of the house. And I got really confused because, one, I knew I had turned it off the previous day and I was the last to leave work, and that the radio picks up the stations from an antenna that must be taken out into the yard and pointed to the sky. So in order for it to play any music, the antenna had to be outside, which it wasn't because all the doors were still closed when I got there. So I'm very confused at that, and I distinctly remember the last few seconds of me opening the door, the music got horridly louder, and as soon as I got the door unlocked and opened, the music was completely gone. and I got bad chills in that moment. The chills you get when you know something isn't right. And I walked over to the radio and it was turned off as it was when I left it the day previously. And those are some of the spooky little happenings we've had in the last few years. I hope they can be of interest. And as I said, you guys, she leaves a picture of the chickens, which is really creepy. I would not want to be there by myself at all, especially not like opening when no one else is there. So I would definitely be very, very scared. And yeah, guys, so those are the 3 stories. Thank you so much to the 3 of you who submitted stories to my email. I really do appreciate it that I was able to make a video out of this. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, as I said. Don't forget to send in your paranormal stories if you guys want to be in the next video of this little mini series that I'm hoping to start if I get enough submissions. And with that being said, you guys, before I do end the video, I have to do a comment shout out, which I will leave down here because this is previously recorded and I have not posted the video that's supposed to go before this one. So yeah, thank you so much for leaving a comment. I really do appreciate it. And as I always say, if you want to be the next comment shout out, all you have to do is leave me a comment, easy as that. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will hopefully see you in my next one. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye bye.